Hello, my dear friends. Myself Diksha Sharma, 3rd MBBS. Today I am here to explain you a very short and interesting topic, that is epistaxis. In general means nose bleeding. Yes, this is the picture indicating nose bleeding, a very common problem most of the children and adult male face. It occurs rarely in women. Contents: we will here discuss about introduction, cause of epistaxis, its site, its types, and lastly the management. Yes, coming up with the first introduction part. So what is epistaxis? In simple language we can say it is the bleeding from inside the nose. That is नक्सीर. जो छोटे बच्चे कहते हैं मम्मा मुझे नक्सीर आ रही है, मम्मा मुझे नाक से खून आ रहा है, सो ये वही छोटी सी चीज़ है. With the basic definition, it refers to the nosebleed or hemorrhage from the nose due to rupture of tiny distended vessels in the mucous membrane of any area of nose. Yes, we have seen that it is very common in younger boys and adults, but it is not age specific. It is common in all age groups. Second is the cause of epistaxis. Now, what is the most common cause of nose bleeding in children and young adults? Yes, it is nose picking. We all have seen. See, this is nose picking. Often children and often you must have seen children doing with this and adults, and then it results in nose bleeding. So overall, most common cause is idiopathic, that is not known. If young male is encountered with recurrent epistaxis, then the most common cause is angiofibroma malignancy. So we should rule out that. Yes, drugs, anticoagulant, antiplatelets also causes nose bleeding. Bleeding disorders, hemophilia, thrombocytopenia, vascular disorders. If elderly is having nose bleeding, then most common cause in elderly is hypertension. Infection also leads to epistaxis if that infection is causing granulomatous condition of nose. Site of epistaxis. So most common site is arterial, that is Kisselbeck's plexus, also known as Little's area of nose. So let us first see what is Little's area of nose. Yes, you can see this is a portion of nasal cavity where this whole nasal cavity is supplied by branches of external and internal carotid artery. Five main branches, that is enteroethmoid artery, posterior ethmoid artery, sphenopalatine artery, superior labial artery, and greater palatine artery supplies the nasal cavity. Out of these five branches, four branches anastomose and forms Kisselbeck's plexus. You can see in the picture the purple shaded area is known as the Little's area or Kisselbeck's plexus. Here we can see that sphenopalatine artery is the major contributing artery in the Kisselbeck's plexus. So it is also the main artery of epistaxis. All right. Now second site is venous site, that is retrocolumnar vein. But this is a rare site. Earlier Woodruff's plexus, venous plexus, was considered as the most common site of posterior epistaxis, but now this concept has been ruled out. अब एंटीरियर और पोस्टीरियर एपिस्टेक्सिस का जो कॉमन कॉज है वो स्फीनोपैटाइन आर्टरी ही है, मतलब दोनों के लिए कॉज एक ही है, स्फीनोपैटाइन आर्टरी, क्योंकि स्फीनोपैटाइन आर्टरी ही है जो वुड्रॉफ्स प्लेक्सस को भी फॉर्म करती है. Now we have seen posterior and anterior epistaxis. So these are the types of epistaxis. Anterior epistaxis, most common and less severe, easy to control. Yes, because bleeding is very less and occurs in children and young adults, mostly from the Little's area or anterior part of lateral wall. So we can easily control this. Posterior epistaxis, it occurs in after 40 years of age and mostly from the posterior part of lateral wall of nasal cavity. So it is very less common and very severe, which is difficult to control. Yes, this is the anterior versus posterior epistaxis picture. You can see anteriorly more common is the anterior epistaxis, In the posterior part, we are dealing with serious nose bleeding, uncommon, that is posterior epistaxis. Management. First and foremost is the Trotter's method, Hippocratic method. Pinch nose and lean forward. Yes, what the method is? Yes, this is the method. We will ask the patient to sit and lean forward slightly, and we will ask him to pinch his nostrils for 3 to 5 minutes. Remember, for 3 to 5 minutes, and breathe through only mouth. If the bleeding is less, then the bleeding will automatically spontaneously stops within 5 minutes. If that is not responding, then we will apply local cautery. If that is also not responding, then we will do anterior nasal packing. Remember, for both the nostrils, and here we are using absorbable pads. Yes, this is the anterior nasal packing for anterior epistaxis. If the bleeding is very severe, then it is posterior epistaxis, and we will manage it with posterior nasal packing. We know that the main artery is the sphenopalatine artery, rupture of sphenopalatine artery. So we will ligate that artery, that is the branch of maxillary artery. Okay. Earlier Tespal technique, transnasal endoscopic sphenopalatine artery ligation was used, but nowadays it is not used. Sixth is ligation of anterior ethmoidal artery. Why anterior ethmoidal artery? Because we know that apart from sphenopalatine artery, anterior ethmoidal arteries is also contributing to Kisselbeck's plexus, and it is the second most artery of epistaxis. May not be the sphenopalatine artery which is rupturing. It might be the anterior ethmoidal artery. So we should go for ligation of anterior ethmoidal artery, and bleeding will spontaneously stops. Yes, thank you. Hope you have understood it well.